Assalamu alaikum, I'm Waju from Tamu Waju. If you don't know me yet, I'm a Muslim and I reverted in 2016. If you want to see my revert story, you can watch it here. As a new Muslim, you might be facing a lot of struggles and you have a lot of questions. And also there are some things which new Muslims don't know about yet, but they should start and try to be careful about them. Of course, you want to do everything right. And with this video, I just want to give you some pointers in the right direction, inshallah. I want to make this a little series with at least 2 parts. In this part, we will talk a little bit about some basic things. And the first point I want to talk about in this video is how to build your foundation. And what I mean by that is how to build the foundation of your knowledge about Islam. What is very important in the beginning is to focus on the basics. So you shouldn't get carried away by unimportant things in the beginning. You have to really learn the foundation about what a Muslim has to believe in order to be a Muslim. And it is also extremely important where you get your information. Of course, our main sources for rulings in Islam is the Quran and the Sunnah. And as a new Muslim, it is hard to deduce these rulings, but I think the basic things are easy to find in the Quran. For example, you have to believe that there's only one God. You have to believe in the prophets, things like that. And apart from Quran and Sunnah, you of course have to get your information from scholars if you go a little bit deeper into some rulings, if you want to know something. And how do you know that a scholar is actually reliable? You can know that a scholar is reliable by looking at their education. A proper scholar has to have studied the religion. There are many different sciences in Islam, and they have to have studied the science which they are talking about. A lot of Muslims get their knowledge from YouTube, which is not a bad thing, it's a good thing, because there is so much information available. But you have to make sure that you listen to those scholars which actually learned the religion and which are not trying to deceive you. Especially as a new Muslim, you are kind of vulnerable to wrong things which people might tell you, because you don't know if what they are saying is right. Maybe they are trying to interpret something differently. So you should try to stay away from sects. But it is really hard as a new Muslim to know who belongs to a certain sect, what things about what they say are weird or wrong. So it is really a matter of building your foundations by listening to reliable scholars to know what is right and what is wrong. So over time, when you get more knowledge about the basics, you kind of build up a shield against the things these sects might try to tell you. Let me give you an example. So as a Muslim, we all have to believe in all the prophets, of course, and we really strongly believe that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the last prophet. In the Quran, it literally says he's the seal of the prophets. But there are also some sects which try to make you believe, okay, there might be some other people after him and we have to follow them too. So these are things, if you don't know about them, if you don't have your basic Islamic knowledge, you might fall prey to this kind of deception. And apart from scholars, as a new Muslim, of course, you also go to your local masjid to get information from the imam or from other Muslims which are there. There also might be some people who are following some opinions which are not correct, and they might try to get you for their kind of agendas or try to get you to join their sect. As a new revert, you're basically kind of an easy target. So please be careful about that. Point 2, which I want to talk about, is what madhhab to follow. This is basically the first choice you are faced with when you are reverting to Islam. Depending on what madhhab you follow, there are slight differences in how hadith mostly are interpreted, and they lead to different rulings in Islam. Of course, this does not apply to the main basic points in Islam which I talked about in the first part. These are more things like, for example, some madhabs have slightly different ways of saying the prayer. For example, where you have your hands when you're saying the prayer. The 4 major schools in Islam are the Hanafi, the Shafi'i, the Maliki, and the Hanbali schools of thought. Depending on where you live in the world, there are majorities. For example, in North Africa, the Maliki school is more predominant. I think the Hanafi school is actually the one which is most predominant in the world. For example, Turkish people, Bangladeshi people follow it. And I personally also follow the Hanafi school of thought because the area I live in here and also our masjid, most people are Turkish, and Turkish people are normally Hanafi. So, and this already leads me to the answer to the question, what madhhab should you follow? In my opinion, you should follow the madhhab which the community you live in follows. because this makes the learning way easier. Like I said, there are some differences of opinion between these madhabs, but nobody claims that their ruling is the 100% correct one when there is differences of opinion. And you should be careful to not follow people who definitely say, okay, and our madhab says this, so every other madhab is wrong. A lot of these people which claim that their opinion is the definite one, it's like kind of like an extremist way of thinking, and you should definitely stay away from these people because they are just going to make your life difficult. They're going to tell you things and tell you, okay, you have to follow this right now, even though it's maybe not even possible for you to follow straight away. They're just going to demotivate you to even follow Islam at all. This is the main important thing about following madhabs, is that, okay, we acknowledge there are differences of opinion which are derived from the hadith, and they are all correct. So you can follow basically any of them. That's why I also say just follow the madhab which is prevalent in your community, because you won't be wrong. In the third point of this video, I want to talk a little bit about the second pillar of Islam, which is the prayer and how to learn the prayer. Already before I became a Muslim, I actually tried to get some information about how Muslims say the prayer, how the prayer is structured, what you have to say. After I became a Muslim, it was still hard to actually learn it. And what helped me specifically was that I wrote down the surah we have to say in every prayer, which is Surah Al-Fatiha, the first surah of the Quran, and I wrote it down in English letters so I can read it, because obviously I couldn't read Arabic at all at that time. And what I also wrote down on that paper is how to say the prayer. So the prayer is structured in multiple rakat. For every prayer of the day, the number of rakat can be different, and also between certain rakat you have to do certain things. So I wrote all of that down for me and printed it out. While it was prayer time, I put that paper in front of me and try to read right from the paper and try to already memorize, for example, Surah Al-Fatiha. And then just do the steps which are written down. And of course, if you do that 5 times a day, as we have to, you will very quickly learn the prayers and how to perform them. For me, I think it took around 1 week, and then I could already say the prayer without this little paper which I had. And after you already know the basic way of saying the prayer, you know how to say the surah. Maybe it's not perfect yet, maybe you're pronouncing it wrong, that's okay. In the beginning, after you know how to do the basics, you can go into detail and, for example, listen to Surah Fatiha, how an actual Qari recites it, and which is the perfect way to saying it, basically. You should also try to learn the meaning of what you're saying. Apart from the surah itself, of course, you should know what the surah means too. There are some more things which you say between certain parts of the prayer. You should also learn these things, what they mean in your language, and why we say them to better connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Point number 4 is a very short point, but I think a very and extremely important point, is to keep good relations with your family, especially your close family and your parents. It doesn't matter if they are non-Muslims, you have to keep good relations with your parents, because this is also a ruling in the Quran. No matter what religion your parents are, you always have to be good to them. And as a Muslim, of course, you also want that your family one day reverts to Islam so they can be in Jannah with you together. The best way to do that is, of course, to keep good relations to them so you can slowly give da'wah, so they see how Islam changes you in positive ways. And of course, if you cut ties with them for some reason, that won't ever happen, because they will instantly have a negative association with Islam. Even if in the beginning they are against you, they are maybe mocking the religion, whatever it is, you can take yourself away a little bit, but always keep the connection and always stay calm, talk calmly to them, try to explain why you're following this religion. This is very important. And the last point for this video is also very important, which is don't rush. You will inevitably make mistakes when you are trying to practice the religion. You don't know everything yet. Like I said in the beginning, you should not focus on the details in the beginning. And while you keep learning, you will learn more and more, and everything will become more clear and also easier and easier to follow. I myself tried to do everything perfectly in the beginning, and it did not really help. Because people who try to do everything perfectly in the beginning, every little detail, they can get demotivated so quickly, because it is impossible to do everything right from the start. And a lot of Muslim brothers and sisters, they might sometimes be a little bit over enthusiastic and want to make you do things quick. It's okay. I mean, they don't want to harm you. They just want to help you. Don't let them push you too far or push you into a state where you think, okay, I have to do that now, I have to do that now, 100 million things which I have to learn at the same time and have to follow. Take it easy. Islam is easy. You just learn everything one by one, and then everything will be okay. And on that point, I want to leave you with a nice hadith. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reported, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Verily, the religion is easy, and no one burdens himself in religion, but that it overwhelms him. Follow the right course, seek closeness to Allah, give glad tidings, and seek help for worship in the morning and evening and part of the night," which is a Sahih hadith from Al-Bukhari. Such a beautiful hadith which instantly makes you so much more calm about the religion and makes you know that everything will be okay. I hope this video helps some of my new Muslim brothers and sisters. If you have any more questions, comment them down below in the comment box. Maybe some people can reply to you, or I might address them in another video, inshallah. If I notice later that I made any mistakes, you can have a look in the pinned comment. If I find something, then I will update it there. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay blessed. Until the next video, assalamu alaikum. And some Muslim brothers and sisters might... why did I have to think about Ali Dawah?
Brothers and sisters and dear friends.
Brothers and sisters.